morning, everyone, and welcome to Conquer the Clutter podcast for February the 28th, 2024. And we just found out we're about to have another weather event in our locale. Something to look forward to. So I thought I would have a little indulgence today and show you how at low moments in your life, it is possible just a hand reach away to add a little joy, fun, and play. All right. So I thought I would introduce you to my what I call my Elvis shirt. I bought this shirt just for the sheer fun of it. All right, expecting I would never wear it in public, but I might wear it around the house because it's just a little flashier than I'm comfortable with. But this morning when I thought, what am I going to wear? I thought, where are you, Elvis? So welcome to the Elvis shirt, complete. Okay, part of the fun is the fringe. I am not a fringe girl, but today we're just going to squeeze the joy, fun, and play out of life. So, today I am recording. I'm going to get Braden to help me if I've made the wrong selection so that this can actually be a learning piece that we put on the library, but nobody is identified. All right. So I have right now asked that the camera stay on me and that maybe your voice, but not your anything that would identify you, not your screenshot, be included. So I want people to feel comfortable. If it turns out that that didn't happen, it can't be corrected, then this won't go on the website with being part of the library. So I'm going to ask everybody to mute themselves and to put their hand up and when they have a question. And what I want today to help you with is the practical stuff. What is your biggest frustration? What is your biggest challenge? And it could be something small, all right, that just keeps getting in the way or just keeps preventing you from not just moving forward, but starting sometimes. Sometimes we stall out, all right? And we convince ourselves, mañana, mañana, mañana. There is no tomorrow. Tomorrow, the thing about tomorrow is it never comes. So tomorrow should be completely taken out of our lexicon. Okay, so who wants to start? Who has a question, a challenge, something? I have an hour to look at the pictures then and comment on what I see. Anybody? Does anybody have a question? So all that to say, look at what is your entrance route? What is your egress route? All right, so you've got two choices. And that would be the first. Now, the other would be, what is your heat source, Michael?
Right now I don't have one because I had a flood in the basement and it killed the furnace. So.
Okay. And so your furnace, when you either fix or replace that furnace, what is the fuel source?
LP,
What is LP?
gas, liquefied petroleum.
Okay.
It's a tank out in the yard. I live out in the country, so.
All right. So, do you have a pilot light? Did you have a pilot light?
No, it starts with a spark plug.
A spark plug that is within the unit? Or
Yes.
okay, so there is a spark then. You need to have nothing surrounding it, any one of those things up to 2.5 to 3 feet. All right, I'm going to give you the partial temporary solution in a minute. Okay, But that also includes, Michael, wherever you're, and this is true for everybody. So today, do a scan, make sure you're within the fire code. Your electrical panel. Where is your electrical panel?
In the back of the house, but I can't get to it right now. So,
Okay, and so it's on a wall, clearly.
yes, and it's on the first floor, so.
Okay, so it's accessible. That would be your next. So you're looking at priority one, 2 ways out, basically. All right. In is another issue, and you're kind of solving that when you solve the 2 sources of egress. And any heat source. So if you're going to have portable heaters, make them the ceramic type, okay? Don't make them the ones with the coils. All right, just to add a layer of safety. You're not alone, Michael. All right, this is where it starts. This isn't where it ends. All right, and figure out if I had, because when an emergency happens, it never happens at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. All right, that just never happens. All right, it's going to happen some really inconvenient time. And if you are waking up out of a dead sleep, then you are going to have an alarm response. There's either going to be a smoke, there's going to be a sound, there's going to be an alarm, there's going to be something. All right. And figure out what is your closest wall. Put your hand on that wall, and I want you to put your hand over your eyes, and I want you to feel your way out. And when you get to the stairs, that's the side you want to be free. All right, because the other thing that happens in a crisis, whether we are hit with a blast of adrenaline, and we think we can see this. Confirm your speaking language. Really, excuse me, people. Zoom has just decided to go nuts. Okay, so you got your hand on the wall, your hand over your eyes, feel your way. All right. Now, whatever you have to do to be able to reach that wall, that amount of stuff needs to be moved somewhere else temporarily. All right. And you feel your way out, because in that blast of adrenaline, you think it's going to make you hyper alert. It actually isn't. It's going to give you a focal point of about that big. So what you think you know is there, you are not going to remember until you fall over it, because your awareness is going to be like this compared to what you're used to. All right. This is like 1 foot in front of the other. You don't see beyond it. And this is a hormonal thing. This is involuntary. Do not lie to yourself and say, oh, that will never happen to me. Yes, it will. If you're drawing breath right now, that's the way your body works, and you don't get a vote on it. All right. So downstairs, and then keep your hand on the wall to your closest egress route. Same deal. You've got way, way, way too much stuff. That is the reality. That is not okay for safety. All right. But we accept that at this point. This is crisis mode. You take enough of the stuff that is in the way for you to be able to comfortably reach that wall that you're going to follow out to your egress route, and put it somewhere else, not near a heat source. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2, how do you get beyond overwhelmed? So that's the big question. A big overwhelmed or a little overwhelmed? And you do it one small chunk at a time. You do not look at the big picture. You're already overwhelmed. That'll just defeat you. All right. You set small, doable goals, and I'm talking small here. All right. Small, doable goals for yourself that you can consistently come back to at your pace. Now, I know people kind of go, 15 minutes a day is never going to get me anywhere. You would be surprised. The reason that in Conquer the Clutter, I talk to you about 15 minutes a day is because on the worst day of your life, all right, and many of us have already been there more than once, right? So we know what that's like for us. We know what our response is. We know what our capability is. Anybody can do anything for 15 minutes. All right? 15 minutes a day, every single day. Why do I say that? I say that because what I want you to do is to learn that you are capable. Take a doable chunk. It's doable. All right? 15 minutes. Set an alarm. You know why you set an alarm? You set an alarm because when that sound goes off, you set a timer. When the alarm goes off on the timer, you're out of jail. That's it. That's all you have to do. But if you do that every single day, what are you doing? You're doing something far bigger than 15 minutes. You're replacing whatever you have habituated that has led to this problem. You are replacing it with 15 minutes of impact. You're replacing what you're habituating. Whatever you habituate is what gets you where you need to go or doesn't. And I would suggest that everyone look at, do you have pathways? Do you have piles? It doesn't have to be a level 5. Michael's very bravely and honestly shared, he's got a level 5. All right. You do the same facsimile that I'm talking about. What is the pile that is closest to getting in the way of you being able to safely go up and down stairs, get in and out of your house? Right by the front door is a fabulous spot. I call it the drop zone because when you get home, you're already tired, and you know what? You got to take your coat. If you live in Canada, you got to take your boots, your coat, you're done by the time you get 3 steps in the door. And what is the biggest temptation? The biggest temptation is drop it. I'll come back to it later. Okay, I'll come back to it later. There are a few words that I want you to remove from your vocabulary. Tomorrow is one of them, and just for now. There is no just for now. There is no just for now. When you put something down, and I don't hoard, I have to say this to myself, I am not exaggerating. 20 times a day, Elaine, just do it now. It never gets easier. Do one small thing now. And if you're feeling defeated and overwhelmed and like, oh, so discouraged, pick the thing. If you're not in a safety hazard, pick the thing that is going to give you the biggest reward, the biggest payoff. The thing that is nagging at you. You know that job. You come in and you put the blinders on because you just can't look at how much more there is to do. But when you take the blinders off for that moment, it's the thing that says, I'm still here. You didn't finish me. Okay, what is that? What is that for you? The other thing I'd like you to do, if you will, all right, in the chat now, I would like you to put, how many people do we have here right now? 20 minutes in, we've got 36 people. I want to have 36 entries in the chat, all right now. And I want it to be, what are the top 3 areas that are the biggest pain in the neck for you, the biggest challenge? The things that you know you need to do, but you just can't summon up. The reason I want you to invest that time for me, because I invest this time for you, all right, is that not all challenges, not all categories of things are equal. And you don't approach paper like you approach clothing, like you approach other things, refuse, like you approach projects, for instance. You know, when you're in the middle of sewing or doing a project or something else that involves product, all right, and you're already a little cramped, you know that it's just going to add to it. And sometimes some types of projects, they don't actually, it doesn't make sense to pack things away in between. So that's why I want you to invest for me, because the types of things we're talking about, all right, the types of things are going to promote what the next topics are for the podcasts. I want this to be practical. I just don't want this to be, listening to Elaine drone on about this topic and that topic and whatever else. I want it to be practical. I do this for everybody, but I do this for people who can't invest in one-to-one counseling. It's just not that easy. All right, for them. They can't afford it or whatever, their work schedule, they're not quite ready, whatever it is. I want this to work for you when the rubber hits the road. Okay, who else?
Once you get to the point where you do have like at least like, those areas clean and clear, do you have any advice on just specifically like how do you not deal with the whole Rubik's Cube, or where do you go from the Rubik's Cube
Okay.
stage?
There are the reason I asked everybody, and thank you, I probably have a good feedback. I've got 52 messages, that's good. The reason that I suggested, well, I didn't suggest it, it's the truth, that all types of accumulation are not the same. We don't have the same relationship. We also don't have the same barriers, all right? Paper is one of those things that bring many people to a grinding halt. All right, all right. And so my suggestion is, if you're looking around and you are having a very difficult time figuring out where to start, all right, it's like you're in a museum and you're looking at the artwork, all right? Where do you want to spend most of your time? Because you want to see it, you want to see it all. Okay, you want to see it all. Okay, where do you want to spend most of your time? Wouldn't you want to spend most of your time on the things that are most important to you? Now, decluttering has in my 23 and a half years experience, has 2 contradictions to that. All right. The first is, start with the thing that is causing you the most aggravation. And hopefully there are other options than paper. All right. Start the safety corridor is where you start, period. Then look at, what are the things that are causing you the most consternation, frustration, all right? And pick one of those and start there. And do your 15 minutes a day until that type of thing is resolved. Do your practicing on the things that are not confounding to you, that you don't have a deep emotional connection to. Don't start there. All right, those are the things that if they need to be decided about, you take those and you move them somewhere else so that you've opened up your 36 to 42 inch pathways. All right, and then you move on to the next, and the next, and the next. And that way you're actually, and at all times, how many hands up here for people who have a copy, either the audiobook or the print copy of Conquer the Clutter? Okay, so then you will be familiar with the giving it a relationship, all right, 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, your 1, 2, 3s are the things that you can't imagine living without. They are so, and there's no rules about it. All right. You just near and dear, like they're the things that just you'd give away other stuff before you would let that go, right? Okay. The 7, 8, 9, 10s are the other end of the spectrum. They are the things that when you're looking, you're saying one of two things to yourself. You're saying, well, if something's got to go, it's going to be you, because it sure isn't going to be any of the 1, 2, 3s. All right. Sorry, but you're a low man. You're a low man right now. Or you're saying, what are you still doing here? I thought, like, what? Why am I holding on to you? All right. You're just occupying space. Like, I thought you were gone a long time ago. Yeah, I can let you go in order to keep the 1, 2, 3s. And what you're never think of it as letting go. Resist the urge to think of it as letting go. You're not letting go of anything. What you're actually doing is you're making space for the things that are the most important to you to have remain accessible, enjoyable, usable, and part of your life. You're not actually letting go. And the 7, 8, 9, 10s, those are your insurance pieces. Well, I got you. Wouldn't I feel silly, if like next week I needed you and I let you go? No, you know what? You're bigger than that. You're more important than that. Chances are, even if you let that go, you have an alternative. If it's not the same type of thing, it's something else. The other day I was trying to open oysters, all right? And who knew all the shuckers were gone? Because of course, when you're making decisions about things, you're not going to keep the oyster shuckers, right? And then you find you bought a dozen oysters just to treat yourself. And where the heck is that shucker? All right. And that shucker's gone. But you know what works? Okay. A screwdriver works really good. All right. Now I had to think about that. I did think of the knives until I almost cut my hand off. All right. But there's always something else. Don't be afraid. Don't let that don't throw me out, gremlin. You're going to need me, gremlin. Come into your mind. Don't even give it time or space. You're bigger and smarter than that. Okay. Who else?
It's interesting to pick something and be able to stick with it. And it's the stick with it, because when I start with something, there's usually something else that's visually attracting me to go spend 15 minutes there and then 15 minutes somewhere else. So there's never any visual progress being made that I can attest success to.
Everybody has that problem. I have that problem. All right. And if I have ADHD, I have a small dose of it. But when I start doing something, what I do, all right, first of all, you have to kind of give yourself an alert when you start this. What is the project? Okay. And you have to, I say it out loud so that all of my senses are aware of it. Okay. It's
Okay.
not sort of an idea that I don't have to pay attention to. All the rest of my senses are working for me. And they say, okay, that's the project. All right. And then I say to myself, today, what is the goal? What is the minimum goal?
Got it.
Okay. And then as I'm working through getting to the minimum goal, things have to go places, they have to whatever. it's not just a matter of sitting and doing it. It's a sitting of, maybe to resolve this, I have to go and put it away. All right. And when I get there, quite often there's something else waiting for me. And then I say to myself, do you know just that moment when there's an arch, right, in your thinking, and it goes, oh, and I think we're not doing that today. So I imagine two little characters, and I invite you to rename two little characters of your own. I have Frick on one shoulder, okay? And Frick is a rule follower. Frick is the one that says, we're not allowed to do that. This is no. We said we were going to do this. This is what we're going to do. And then I have Frack, and Frack is a troublemaker. All right. And Frack is the one that says, yeah, no, come on. No, come on, don't listen to Frick. Come on, no fun. That guy's like, no fun. And when I get over to, oh, Frack says, yeah, this is great. Look, you left this to do too. And Frick says, that's not what we're doing right now. All right, that's not the project. And I listen to Frick because Frick gets me done. Frack takes me on vacations where I come back and I still have what Frick is going to say. How'd that work for you? How'd that work for you? Have a little fun with it as well. All right. But get all of your senses. Talk out loud to yourself. You would be surprised when it's not just your brain that is working for you. You have a concrete, okay, what is the minimum goal? And then I invite you to habituate a few expressions that I have developed for myself, but I will share them. One is, there is no just for now. There is no just for now. All right. Don't put it down, put it away. Now there's a little trick to that. When you're deciding where things go, try your level best to not have them more than 4 to 6 steps away from where they are usually used. There's something about that 6th and 7th step that makes people think, I'll do it later, put it here, I'll do it later. All right. And that becomes a very high wall. You don't want to habituate that. Make today's work, not tomorrow's challenge. Today's work stays today. Don't let it, because there's a tomorrow and a tomorrow and a tomorrow. Okay? And there is no such thing as tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow is the big lie we tell ourselves. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. You have no idea what tomorrow is going to hold in store for you, as I have just found out recently. And you know what? If you've left stuff that needs to be done and you have a tomorrow moment disappear, you're coming back to that. How's that going to feel? Do it while it's in front of you. And pace yourself. And at all times, keep your sense of humor and your self-respect. And have a little joy, fun, and play with your version of your Elvis top. I wore this specifically today just to make myself giggle. Because today is not the best day of my life. And it won't be again for a little while. But you know what? There is no end of stuff that if I refocus, I can keep my spirits up. Good?
Good.
We will see you next week, and I'm going to be looking at 71 messages. All right? 71 messages, and I'm hoping that each one of those will give me an idea of what you most need to hear about starting next week.
Yes, you can. Yes, you